want to do these, and then this confidence, I think, comes through in pricing. So I want to ask you a question about pricing. In the room, right now in our industry, people are under margin compression. Like on the real estate side, the commissions are going down. On the mortgage side, the amount you make per loan, it's just, if you look at the stat, it's going down. Not like crazy, but it is declining, and AI is a threat as well. So I'm just thinking, in this room for the people who discount themselves, like they discount in order to get more business, and they use price as a lever. One of the things you talk about is staying above that, staying premium. And how would you advise the person in the room who is still having to discount their service?
You know, what's funny is that it's my hairdresser. Every time I see her, I'm like, that's it? And she's like, I just don't want to raise my prices, you know? Like, and she's at the point where she's so full that she cannot take on any more clients. And she complains about she doesn't have tough time, but she won't take anybody else on. And that reminds me of a lot of people in business, because everybody's always afraid to raise prices or to just not discount. But the question I ask is like, are you making this decision out of a place of strength or a place of fear? And in business, if you want to win, you have to play to win. You can't be playing not to lose. And oftentimes when you are discounting, it's because you're playing not to lose, you're not playing to win. But like entrepreneurship, business, the game you guys are in, it rewards people who play to win, who know that it's not about risking it one time and jumping into this. You have to continue taking risks. Now, calculated risks, I'm pretty sure if you do 30% discount and you say, I'm not going to do that anymore, that's a calculated risk. That's not like something, fucking insane. There's other people in this room doing that. But you have to be able to continue taking risks, because everything, it's like all these questions are from a place of fear, which is like, I'm scared of what? Like, what's the worst thing that happens if you decide not to discount your prices? Somebody says no. So like, the real thing is that a lot of people don't want someone to say no to them. So it's like, you discount, you lower your prices because you can't handle the rejection. And maybe you're getting rejected because you're not good enough, or maybe you're getting rejected because you haven't practiced enough. Maybe, either way, these are all things that you can control. So it's like, if you don't give yourself the opportunity to find out if it's even going to work, you're just going to continue playing not to lose, which is a really terrible game to play. I don't know if any of you guys are feeling like that right now. When you play not to lose, you feel like you shrink. And I ask myself this question a lot. I'm like, when I make this decision, do I feel like I'm expanding my life? Do I feel like I'm expanding my business? Or do I feel like I'm shrinking my life and my business? Do I feel smaller making this decision? Do I feel worse about myself? And oftentimes that's what I see when it comes to discounting. It's like, you feel worse. You just shrunk yourself. You've literally constrained the resources that you are capable of acquiring, purposely. Nobody asked you to. And there's other people not doing that. So there's plenty of evidence. But again, I think there is, to a degree, and I mean, listen, like when I got into sales, the most expensive thing I first sold ever was a $300 package. And that was like, holy shit, someone give me $300. And then it worked all the way up until before we started business, I was actually doing sales on the side for other businesses, making $25,000 sales, $35,000 sales, $100,000 sales. And I remember at each level, the one thing I focused on was like, I was so nervous because I was like, I can't believe anyone would spend this much money. There's no way I can sell something that costs so much. It's like, you just let me believe. And I was just like, I will not act in accordance with my thoughts, because my thoughts fucking suck. A lot of people are like, you should follow your heart and your feelings, and I'm like, not if they suck. You should not. Like, let's not do that. And I don't know about you, but like, I started off with a lot of shitty beliefs and thoughts and feelings, and I was like, I do not want to deal with this. So you have to act your way out of it. If you want to get to a point where you don't need to discount, act like it now. That is a real thing. And so you just have to decide, which means you cut off and you say, I'm never discounting again. And you just, I don't know what's gonna happen, I'm gonna fucking figure it out. And you will, that's the thing. Your brain, when you give it constraints, it will focus on that path. If you always have this over here that you could do, it actually works not nearly as well, because our brains like predictability and certainty. The moment that we cut off a path, it will find a way forward. But it's